Hello, my name is Sarah Fowler, and my school code is AK, and this is What Did You Expect? An Oratory. Have you ever watched the Book of Mormon? And yes, you heard me correctly, I said watch. There is a play called The Book of Mormon. This satirical musical comedy, released in 2011, took its chances to shoot shots at things from consumerism to organized religion. When I first watched this, I thought it was pretty funny and to not be taken too seriously. But my religious family would have thought differently for me. Around the same time, I was also beginning my adolescent journey. When the human mind goes through adolescence, we often experience what psychologists refer to as an identity crisis. This is when you learn more about yourself, figure out who you are, and this is when you'll get your, "It's not a phase, Mom." And this is when some people discover they're queer. Homosexuality is something that scares and confuses people to this day, and it's even scarier for a 13-year-old Mormon. Knowing what I discovered about myself, I began to hide and not be true to myself. Being out is hard, but there are so many reasons that someone might hide who they are. Finding the courage to break this mask set on your face is daunting, but it's weight taken off of you. So first, with our brother and sister badge, we'll knock on that door and be greeted with how many of us hide who we are from others, before being welcomed into the home and discussing how hiding can affect us. And lastly, we'll leave with how to get out of this way of life. So let's adorn this badge and knock on that door. Let's think of a scenario I'm sure some of you have been in before. You walk into class on the first day of school. You know no one. You're surrounded by popular kids and other people you are generally not on the same social ladder as. In order to protect ourselves, we put up walls to hide within. These walls acting as a mask constructed out of expectations. Bruce Lee once said, "I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to mine." I don't expect anything out of these kids, but I don't want them to know who I am. I have had expectations be put on me by others and myself. My own expectation is that I have to act a certain way depending on where I am. I'm not allowed to be myself in any situation, and I am only safe inside my own mind. To this day, I still find it hard to drop this mask, but what helps is that I have genuine friends nowadays who love me for who I am. But a year ago, I would have been fighting for my life to mask who I was and pass as a good LDS girl. These are friends I had had since I was small, people I thought I could confide in. So when I built the courage to tell them I'm queer, they constantly dismissed me and ignored my claim. They put an expectation onto me to be just like them. In this day and age, we all have expectations. Expectations, as defined by Oxford Language, are defined in these two ways: a strong belief that something will happen, and a belief that someone will or should achieve something. Have you ever come home to a parent or spouse and them say, "I expected this to be done last night"? This is an example of expectations being put onto you. Connie McGillen gives other examples as to why someone might mask who they are. Either doing work you don't like, in a relationship that's not right, not honoring your sexual identity, and living where you are not comfortable. As if my friends had given me a mask of expectations, I foolishly put it on. I constantly told myself I had to live up to their expectations and be different than them. I would do my best to live like Christ as we are taught as Latter-day Saints. But this meant I suppressed my identity. I wore the mask in front of these friends, but it slowly devolved into an all-time thing. I even paused to think if I should say anything if someone were to ask. Let's walk into the house and take a deeper dive into a mask's effects. My mask weighed so heavily on me every day and had obvious effects. Human psychology states we give those more opportunities to succeed than those we think will fail. Expectations not only affect the person they are put on, but also the person who applies them. Expectations warp perspective, shape and bend reality as said by human psychology. They're just a pair of glasses with the incorrect prescription, causing us to not see right. Sometimes these expectations are so deeply embedded within us that we don't even know they're there, affecting us. For me, when I wore this mask all the time every day, it was because these expectations had been buried so deep within me that they become my norm. Living with these unhealthy expectations can set you up for frustration, self-judgment, and even depression, as said by Samantha Bahandi on WebMD. This slow spiral from expectations affects so many people on a daily basis. They destroy and shatter our existence. They're just a 1,000-pound weight we drag behind us. Now, not all expectations are bad. Some are good, but the good can transform into the bad. Thinking if I just comply to these simple expectations, all my problems will vanish. I'll be okay again. Expectations can be healthy and often helpful to someone, maybe helping you achieve a goal you've always wanted. But learning to realize when these expectations have become harming rather than helping is crucial. So what do we do with these expectations that are clearly not good for us? My job here is almost done. We just have to take the last few steps out of the house with this vital knowledge. Turning these expectations into healthy ones is not an overnight thing. Take time to set boundaries and learn to prioritize your own well-being over external pressures. Seek support from friends, family, and a mental health professional. They can provide guidance and help you navigate these challenges. And remember, it's okay to redefine your own expectations and focus on what truly matters to you. For me, when I was at my lowest, I was talking with people in my physics class, still holding up this wall of expectations when I had a thought. Let it fall for just a moment. In front of these people I hardly knew. I had a moment of freedom, of no expectations to bear on my shoulders, and no one to put this mask on for. When I arrived home that day, I took a long look at myself. What was I doing? My eyes were tired, my smile was torn, and my body language disheveled. I had been masking for so long, I had forgotten who I was. I had taken the first step in a long road of healing, realizing what I was doing to myself, what others were doing to me. Seeing through the fog in your head is a great first step for anything, but realization is not enough. Action is needed. If action's not taken, one can simply fall back into the mimic of themselves. I continued on my road of healing. Samantha Bahandi said, take time to celebrate your progress, your milestones, your victories. Be grateful for having done everything you have accomplished. I took every victory rather than every failure. Over time, my own expectations warped and changed, and something that once dragged me down now gave me hope. But fixing your own expectations is much easier than fixing the ones others have for you. I confronted my friends and I told them what I was going through, how their expectations had affected me. Their constant dismissal and ignorance were back. As if I had handed this mask back over to them, they'd thrown it back at me saying, no, you need it, keep it. But why would I let this mask control my life again? Instead, I let the fragile mask fall and shatter. I would not let them dictate how I was to live anymore, or how I would choose to love Christ. Expectations are like an invisible chain. We don't see them, only feeling the pressure on us as we go throughout our day. The mask is invisible too, not just to the outside viewing in, but to the inside looking out. This pressure can build up over time without knowledge. Imagine you're holding an empty sack. In day one, pebbles are added and then grow in size each day. And before you know it, you are struggling to move this sack. Something that once weighed you down, something that once felt like nothing, now weighs you down. These expectations can be put on us by others and ourselves. They may start with good intentions but can easily devolve into bad. Realization is a powerful tool that is often not used enough. And learning to change these unhealthy standards into healthy ones, while hard, is the best thing we can do for ourselves. I have my own expectations, but I've changed them. I don't have to act a certain way depending on where I am. I am allowed to be myself in a situation, and I am safe outside my own mind. Thank you.